everybody, welcome to our cabin. So what you're about to watch is a video that is between September's cabin build and this month's just kind of not finishing touches. There is a long way to go, but last month was crazy and I had no time to stop and film or explain anything, and it was just all my footage is just like insane and doesn't really make any sense. So I'm hoping that I can take footage from last month and footage from this month and some explanations in between and maybe give you a cohesive finished product that sort of kind of explains what we did and how we built our cabin. So right now Chris is at the hardware store picking up some of our last minute lumber because we have to put in a window here. We have to put in some walls because we are installing a wood stove. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very sore.
Sore?
Very sore, and I just had to pull a giant infected splinter out of my thumb.
Why didn't you save it for us to see?
Oh, sorry.
We were really busy last night. We were up late. We didn't have dinner until like 11 o'clock, but we got this window in, which we'll explain later. And today we're gonna get the wood stove in and finish that and finish that. And we'll explain all that later. But right now, coffee and waffles.
All right, so we are filling all of the gaps in between the rafters up there with 2x4s because that's all we need to fill most of the space. We're gonna hit it with the great stuff, spray insulation, fill all the little holes, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the back side. And hopefully, once we have the wood stove installed tonight, that heat won't be going right out the top.
Yeah, it got pretty chilly last night.
We're getting there.
So right now, we have this beam that was put here for
It was like temporary scaffolding.
temporary scaffolding.
When we were building the upper half of this cabin.
And it was installed in, I think, unintentionally, but there's no way for us to get it out. So that's
I'm trying to take this stud out right here.
yeah.
There's a screw going in from underneath and two from the top. The two from the top we can't get to. We don't have a Sawzall with us. I think this is gonna be our friend. And we're gonna saw through this screw and hopefully at least bend this stud out enough. I don't know if that's gonna even work. We're gonna try it.
All right. Did we get it? We only had to drill.
A little bit.
We had to drill that screw out.
All right, so we've got the back and front side of the cabin sealed up.
It's gonna be toasty tonight.
So we have the left top wall,
Where the ladder is.
which is going to be a little interesting because it has a little window,
This little window.
and the chimney of the wood stove is coming out as well. So we kind of had to map this one out a little bit. I think it's going to work.
Let's hope.
Wear eye goggles.
Oh yeah, here.
Eye protection and ear protection.
We're gonna put that on right now.
I don't recommend doing what I'm doing here.
So we're getting pretty close to sunset, but we have ourselves a wood stove and a window. We still have some framing, but you can see we're gonna be doing framing up there tomorrow morning. All right, don't mind the light, but our wood stove is installed, baby. And I framed my first window, and it's not perfect, but that's okay. So it's later on in the day. We had to take a break. We went and got pizza because I didn't feel like cooking. And now we are officially going to light the wood stove for the first, well, not for the first time, but the first time here.
Yes, first time.
So, hooray. No, it's very excited. I mean, I'm very excited.
And we're cheating.
Yes, we're cheating. We're using an Envirolog because we can. Good morning.
Good morning.
I just took a shower at our cabin. That's so fun. Do you want to see the shower mechanism? So you put this into a bucket of water and you press the power button, and then this great little shower head. And it worked really well. And the USB charge is here, and it just is fantastic, and I feel so wonderful. So we're wrapping up, but we wanted to talk you through some stuff that we didn't get to talk you through last time, and with links and stuff, because honestly, I wasn't here for a lot of all of this because I was busy running around doing other stuff. And he wasn't here for some of the stuff that I saw because he was busy running around doing other stuff. And then there's some stuff that we just can't explain. So, for instance, the roof was thrown together with such speed and like accuracy that the only thing I could contribute is running to get some more staples. And it was done by the Capable Carpenter, link in the description. And what the fuck are those called?
The rafters?
Rafters. The rafters were very efficiently and miraculously and beautifully thrown together by a guy named Rodney, who doesn't have a link below, and also Alex Eaves, link below. He is a reuse, reduce, recycle aficionado.
We were short on 12-foot pieces of 2x4s. So if you look up, you can see that these are actually pieced together 8-footers.
Yeah, you can
kind of
see
staggered and
like right here,
doubled up to create 12-foot pieces, because these people are amazing at figuring this kind of stuff out.
Yeah.
When you don't have exactly everything you need, but you could still do it.
Yes. Because we had plenty of wood, just didn't have the right size.
So we've got the wood stove installed. It was one of the last things we got to last night. And it is running amazing. It's a winter well. Nomad, mid-sized camping stove. It is for medium-sized camping tents, like the canvas-style camping tents. It's good for tiny homes, camper vans, all of that stuff. We have this accessory that's amazing that you can fill with water, and it boils very fast.
Yeah, it's not really a downside, but we have to cut our wood very small because it is very small. But not that big of a deal.
Yeah, so we got it installed. We ran through theirs. They sell like a silicone piece that mounts to the wall of your tiny house, your tent, and it's kind of like a heat shield type of piece. And then there's a double pipe at the top that goes through it as well, so the heat of the pipe isn't melting the silicone or burning the wood. So we got that installed. So here's something that we did at the tiny house summer camp. This cool fold-out window here. It swings open, hinged at the top. This is one of Deek's ideas for an easy way to take an old window and that might not have originally swung open, and kind of filling it out with trim around it. And then also, here, can you hold this stick for a second? I don't know if you can see.
Oh, sorry.
But the hinge is also attached to that bottom piece of trim, or the bottom of the top of the trim there. I can't really explain it as well as he can, so there's going to be a link in the description below for a video that he did teaching a class on this. Quick little thingy. But it's cool because then when it closes, this trim basically turns into some sort of weather proofing. So here's another thing we finished. The first night we were up here this weekend. This giant fold-out bar window. Eventually we're going to have a deck on the front of the cabin. And this window that we framed using this poly material you can buy at Home Depot, Lowe's. It's really easy to cut to size with some sharp shears. And they also sell foam insulation that fills perfectly in the gaps here. So we framed this out, and this is, it might be a little squeaky.
No?
Oh, not bad. So we used door hinges across the top because it's a pretty heavy window. And yeah, once we have the deck, we are going to have either a post or something that will swing down from it and hold this up and open, so you know, someone's on the inside, someone's on the outside, serving drinks, cocktails, all that fun stuff. And just having this inside open up even more, and just it gives a lot more space. So we might eventually change out this poly because we're not super into having it be so blurry.
We want our main, like our biggest window shouldn't be an obscured view. So we would like our window to be clear so that when we're sitting here, we can look out and actually see the beautiful trees, because as you can see, it's gorgeous out here.
So we might use just like a regular fiberglass, or we haven't really decided yet, but this...
Plexiglass.
Yes, plexiglass.
Not fiberglass.
Not fiberglass. This was a few scrap pieces that Deek had left over. So it was we did this kind of just as a somewhat temporary window. But we'll be using the same framing. We might even use some old windows.
Yeah, we came up with an idea where we puzzle piece it together.
Piece together some old vintage windows and attach them to this frame. That could be an idea, and they all kind of swing open at once. But we'll see. That'll be a project for next year. Yeah.
Another thing that we didn't have really a chance to talk about is a foraging journey that we went on with the Animal Man Survivor, link in the description. He has a YouTube channel. He explains how to survive in the wilderness. And we walked along the path that's around all of the camp around here. And he showed us all of the edibles that he's incredibly knowledgeable. So he knew exactly what you could use it for, when you could use it, with the time of year you could find it, all the different medicinal, edible necessities that you can use edibles for that are growing all around us. So that'll be very helpful for the future.
So we were in the market for a power supply source since we were completely off the grid here, and we wanted something that could last quite a bit if we're up here for a week or so. And then we started talking about solar panels and that kind of thing. and we didn't really necessarily want to have something fixed here. We wanted to be able to bring it home and use it elsewhere. So we found the Jackery stuff, and we have picked up the Jackery 500 watt power supply. It holds a crazy charge. The display is pretty awesome, actually. It'll tell you what your output is for stuff plugged in. And then it has the input, which you can charge from a wall jack at home. Or we got this really, really cool solar panel that you can travel with. And it has a 100-watt output. This is the big one. And it plugs directly into here and charges it. And the cool thing is, since we don't have a completely open view here for sun, we could scoot it around throughout the day wherever the sun is coming through and charge it. And we used this thing for 2 days without needing to charge it. We only started charging it a little while ago just to see how it worked. And what are we at? It was like 70%. 70%. And we were charging phones. We charged the batteries for the drill, our circular saw, multiple times throughout the last few days. We had lights. We have these LED string lights that are awesome. And they are warm white. They light up the cabin and they plug in USB right in the front. And those drew 2 watts. So we barely saw the percentage go down all weekend from those. Maybe 5% all weekend. Mm-hmm. So awesome product, and super psyched to use this more often when we're up here. So we didn't get our metal roofing in time for this trip, so we kept the tarp. We had a tarp up there just tied down before, but this time, since it's going to be tarped for a little longer than we thought, we went up on the roof and we just screwed the tarp down using strapping, just this wood planks. So you screw through the wood and it helps water getting in the screw holes. It helps the tarp from being ripped right out from the screws. And yeah, so it's flipped up right now. We're actually going to tarp it over this side wall because we didn't finish that wall, and there's actually a little bit of a gap over there. So hopefully next time we come up, we will be installing some really nice metal roofing.
Hey everybody! I hope you enjoyed that video. It was very difficult to make because nothing ever really made sense between the first collection of footage that I took. So I know a lot of it was a little winded, but there were a lot of explanations for a lot of things, especially for people that are actually genuinely looking to build a cabin. And I will put links for every single item, every single person, every single everything that I could possibly have mentioned in this video. So that'll all be downstairs in the doobly-doo. And feel free to leave us any questions on this video. I will try to answer them. Chris will try to answer them. As we continue with the building, I'm sure we'll both be learning and gathering information and become more knowledgeable in the genre of cabin building. So for now, subscribe, follow along, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Pinterest, follow us on Reddit, follow us everywhere. Just don't follow us home. Okay, bye.